All right. Welcome.
Welcome to the Two Old Goats. I'm Tom,
Richard.
and we're off
We're off for another one.
like a prom dress.
All right. Well, good deal. Well, on this one, I wanted to talk about kind of what we had in mind while we're doing this. Also, I don't know that there's anything to achieve, but it's fine.
Right.
But anyway, kind of what our goals might be, and then kind of where we came up with the name and our symbol.
Right.
Is that what you call it? A symbol?
Yeah.
Our logo. Our logo. Yeah. So talk about that a little bit and just kind of whatever else comes up. We had this freaking storm come through right when we were about to record Thursday and didn't get to. So that's been interesting. No power anywhere but except for your street. So anyway,
I was out of power.
Definitely, again, one of God's favorites.
Oh, there it is.
So there you go.
So you're talking about maybe like a foundation meeting.
Yeah, just kind of. I don't think we ever really, talked about that, and I've had a few people ask.
Okay.
Kind of what are y'all doing? I guess there's a nice way of saying we're all over the damn place.
Right.
So
I think, essentially, I think it goes back to where we started this part of our life's journey, right?
Yeah.
So mine happened to be about 10 years ago. Yours was 22 years ago.
21. Yeah, almost 22. Yeah.
I can give you a little synopsis of why we're here.
Right.
I guess. I don't know if anybody really wants to know where I was at before.
Yes, we do.
That's now it's rated R.
We'll get to it.
So, let's just talk about why we're here today.
Okay.
So I know, for me, about 10 years ago, I got to a point in my life where the way I was living, how I was thinking, how I was doing things, the emotional roller coaster, the numbness, the lost, right? The sinking, I'm all alone in this world feeling. I reached out and wanted to do something different. Mm. And so the drinking stopped, the smoking stopped, the self-pity, the living a life as a victim, all of those things were transforming into a life of freedom. And these past 10 years have been evolving, week by week, month by month, year by year, constantly removing those chains of trauma, of feeling useless, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's
good move, by the way.
Right. Feeling useless, feeling that maybe I don't have enough in this, in here to be the man that I needed to be as a husband, as a friend, as a stranger on the street, as a father, and starting the spiritual journey really grabbed a hold of me and gave me new tools for survival. And, I know you and I have been talking about, hey, maybe we should start reading these books together with other people. And so we started other groups and started reading shit. And then that evolved into like a group of guys that it wasn't just about the words in the book. Now it was like, let's go do something different. So we started walking and then, doing some 10Ks here and there, started doing our bike riding, doing our trail stuff, getting out in the woods more often. And I mean, just our whole world evolved from couch potato, watching sports, bullshit, paying attention to the news, to none of that shit fucking matters. How do we go fucking live this life? Right. And then eventually it started conversations about, hey, maybe we should start recording some of our conversations because you and I think we say some pretty fucking cool shit, and we should
Right.
share that with
Right.
with the
Absolutely.
world. You know,
We would be so selfish not to share.
right? Because it's
Yeah.
about spreading our seeds everywhere, and that's what we
And
want to
we're
do.
not the only ones that have thought that. We've had other people tell us
I
that.
think so. Yeah, I
Yeah.
think brother, you should record this shit.
Yeah.
I think so.
Absolutely.
So that's why we're here. We finally fucking pulled the trigger, and you know, because we had ultimately, I know we've had lots of conversations that we don't want to be those guys that talk about, oh, the glory days. You know, we want to talk about what are we doing now,
Right.
And those tend to be the best conversations. You know, there's nothing wrong with once in a while talking about, you know, where we were at, but the most important thing is from where we were at, what are we doing today?
Right.
So that's how this podcast came about.
Yeah.
For me.
Yeah.
What do you got?
Good. No, it was. I think the big thing for me was, you know, it's going to be uncomfortable because I'm not used to, you know, doing any type of video or anything like that. But other than little short stuff occasionally for work, for Richard Berry Real Estate in Cypress, Texas.
713.
the best dang realtor
All right.
team there is, the Berry Group. Anyway,
are you like officially our sponsor now?
Yeah.
The Berry Group.
Yeah, definitely.
Very good.
So anyway, I played a little bit with that kind of stuff, but anyway, we had talked about doing this and doing something like it, and I was thinking back, you know, a lot of times it takes a long time. We really didn't talk about it that long.
Mm-hmm.
We talked about it for a couple months, maybe a few months at the most, and said, "All right, well, let's go," and we did.
Right.
And here we are. So anyway, it's been fun. It's my goal in it was doing something new and different that I don't know what the fuck I'm doing.
Right.
And learning stuff and you know, kind of keeping new age stuff. I was talking to my dad today, and I think I may try to do something with him along these lines. He fancies him. He wrote a book.
Okay.
And it's published, and he's writing his second book.
All right.
So, but this one's the moneymaker.
This is the one.
That's what he said. This one's the moneymaker. I was great. Okay. And so now I told him today, I haven't told him we've been doing this.
Yeah.
So today I told him, well, here, check this out. Maybe you and me can do something to promote your book, something like this.
Yeah.
And I sent it to him. So
if he sends us a book, we'll read it. And
yeah. Well, I need to get his book that he wrote and read it. It's really he wrote it. He says for the grandkids, his grandkids, which are my kids, which now have kids.
Right.
So anyway, but he didn't give me one.
No.
He didn't give my sister one. He just gave the grandkids a book. So anyway, but anyway, it's that, and it is. It's kind of recording some of this because I think too, you know, whenever we talk about things out loud and focused, that's where a lot of my best thinking comes in.
Right.
You know, because I think I have to talk a lot of it to think it.
Yeah.
You know, and there you go. Good job. Hey, how are you?
Hey,
how are you?
How you doing?
How are you?
Hi. Yeah. How high are you?
Hi, how are you?
That's right.
I love that. So anyway, basically that kind of stuff. But it helps me think, you know, and to talk about it, and you know, it's. I pause a lot sometimes because I'm kind of thinking about it, and you know, Elon Musk does it, so So I think like he does some ways. So anyway, that's
okay.
There you go. But yeah, that's the reason for doing it. It was just something, and then it's to me, I enjoy it.
Yeah.
It's been fun, and at first I didn't want to go back and listen to them, and the girl who's helping me edit them goes, "Well, I need to know, what you want to title them,
Right.
and then a few little topics, like what are some topics in there." So, like, shit, now I got to go listen to them.
Right.
But then when I started listening to them, it was funny because, we've talked about them all different places, but I would listen to you and you would be talking about something, and I would be thinking, well, blah 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 blah, and then I would say blah 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 on the thing. I was like, holy shit, that's weird. It was a weird thought, and but anyway, a lot of good stuff and a few things I want to get to. I hope I don't forget, but as we go along. So
I think it's important that for everybody, I think everybody, when you're embarking on a new way of life that brings you closer to a power greater than yourself, right? Which ultimately, the whole submit to win, the whole, like the David Goggins that we're reading now, just the mindset that there's something greater than you out there. And when you start limiting yourself, saying, oh, well, I'm only human, and, I wasn't built like that, like a professional athlete or whatever, it's just all bullshit, because we all come from the same creator, right? Doesn't matter what religious head you have, we're all one, came from one creator. And having these conversations and sharing our experiences, for me, is giving me hope. Hearing other people tell their stories. Early on, I got a whole group of speaker tapes, and I was listening to their experiences, and giving me hope that maybe there's something else out there, right? That my insanity wasn't for nothing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That there's a greater purpose out there. And, for many, many years, it was like, how much more can I take from this world? And this new journey has transformed that phrase into how much more can I give of myself to this world? And by giving of myself has released me of the bondage of self, like in the prayers that we read. And then ultimately, I remember when you and I used to do our garage days, we'd sit in front of your garage and we'd talk for hours and stuff. I know back then we were talking, man, we should record some of this shit. This is some good stuff.
Right.
And I think some of our best talks have been on our walks and our bike rides and, just out there at the Jiffy Lubes and things like that.
I heard there was a study recently, somebody said that you think better and I guess therefore would talk better, I guess, if you do it while you're walking.
Really?
Yeah. For some reason, it gets your juju going or something.
I can see it.
Yeah.
I mean, it's,
I do. And I think it's good to start thinking that way, to be moving, because being, healthier at no matter what level you're at.
Right.
It's healthier if you're moving while you're talking.
Okay. So then ultimately the purpose of this podcast for the Two Old Goats is to share our experience, know that we're free thinkers. Our higher power gave us a brain to use, and share our opinions and thoughts and with the world out there, that maybe just one person might want to do something different and go put something into practice. So that's ultimately where and why we're here. Right. But as far as the Two Old Goats symbol or logo, the name, all that stuff.
Start with the name.
The name.
Yeah.
So Two Old Goats
kind of came through a text thread, wasn't it?
Yeah. Well, ultimately, it was my wife.
Okay.
She's the one that, because I was talking to her about you and I doing something like this, and we were thinking about what would be a name. And she started laughing. She was like, you're just a bunch of old goats anyways.
Right.
So I was like, oh shit. So that's when I texted the old goats. And then I think you said 2 old goats.
Right.
Then we changed the word from old to old, right?
Yeah, right.
Because we don't want to put an age limit on us, right?
Right.
That sounds wrong.
Well, we don't want to make other people feel inferior because they don't have they don't have our level of experience.
Oh yeah.
So we don't want to flaunt our level of experience.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
I do.
That's old Ronald Reagan technique.
That is a wrong. Yes.
There you
go. But then the key part is it's not just 2 because that's you and I. Because the truth is, we weren't meant to do or live this life alone.
Right.
So the number 2 in there is showing that you're in this with somebody, right? In all of your journeys, it's important that you should have something next to you. It not always has to be a human. It can be a spirit as well. It can be your higher power right next to you.
Right.
Right. So that's to signify the 2. And then the goats, you and I went back and forth on that, but at the end of the day, we did the little g, right? Because you have the ultimate goat, which is your higher power, right? And we, as disciples, are the little g's that are supposed to go out and share this message with others.
Right. It's also a symbol of his spirit in us.
Correct.
Yeah.
I feel him inside me.
Yes. Often. More often these days.
Yes. Once you clear out
when I please him, right?
There you go.
Okay.
So that's ultimately where the 2 old goats came from. And then the actual logo, right? That's where we came together because we love the spiritual triangle with in AA, it's unity, recovery, and service.
Right.
In the worldwide area, it's mind, body, and spirit.
It's an ancient symbol.
Right. Ancient, I believe, Egyptian symbol.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
And then it's encompassed. Right, by life itself. So if you look at our symbol, you'll see the 2 old goats coming together, and then the words "old goats" at the bottom, which brings everything together.
Makes the triangle.
Makes the complete triangle. Because that's ultimately, in this world, you have to ensure that you're working on all 3 sides. Because if you just totally focus on the mind, right, or the recovery side of things, you're missing out on the spirit or the service or the unity in the body.
Right.
And then the triangle will collapse upon itself.
Right.
So same thing with the body. If you just focus on that, then you're missing out on the service and everything. So,
you got to have everything.
Absolutely. Yeah. So that's where the name The 2 Old Goats came from.
Right.
That's where the logo came from. And so that's why we're here.
Right. I will add though the spiritual part of that, because our book does say in there that if we take care of our spiritual life, everything else falls in line.
Correct.
And I think so on the triangle too. And a lot of people go, well, it doesn't look like it from the outside or whatever. Well, if when they're judging a person that's focusing on their spiritual whatever, I think sometimes we forget the spiritual part of something is not the thinking about it and praying about it. It's the freaking doing it.
Right.
So if you're doing it, you're on your way.
Right.
You're going to get there.
Well, and I totally agree with you, because the truth is if you're focused more on the other 2 sides and you miss out on the spirit, you're missing the whole purpose of what you were doing.
Right.
Right. So definitely the spiritual side, the acting of it, their action of it is the most important. I think that's the base, right, of the triangle. And when it's truth is when you do straighten out that spiritual malady in your life, you tend to want to work on those other 2 because you're a little bit more freer.
Right.
Right. So that's where in our big book, it talks about fitting ourselves to be of maximum service.
Right.
Right.
Our ultimate goal.
Right. That's our ultimate goal, where we're to share that experience. Well, when we're fat asses because we're not taking care of our body, right, we can't be of maximum service.
mirror over there.
That I took the mirrors down.
The shirt is slimming.
I think that's the to be honest with you, I think that's the final part for us is because I believe that we're definitely in line with the mental side of things. We're reading the books, we're doing our meditations, we're doing our prayers, we're constantly seeking more, right? In that aspect. On the body side, I mean, we definitely are doing the activities as far as working out and things. We have a food allergy.
Right.
It's the seafood allergy.
Yeah.
I see food and I want to fucking eat it.
Right. Oh yeah.
But the truth is, and little Chrissy brings it to my attention all the time, is before I sit down and eat that food, I'm not inviting my higher power into it. Because I'm like, I got this one.
Right.
I got this.
I
don't need you to eat my food with me.
Right. Right.
So then I tend to eat pretty bad.
Thanks for the Brussels sprouts. I got the ice cream. I don't need your help.
No. Brussels sprouts are for rabbits. That's why they're so little.
Right. Is that what it is?
Yeah. That's their potatoes are big. That's for
right.
A man.
Right.
So that way.
Well, they were putting them in the crawfish boil stuff and all that last night, and they were talking about how great they are.
Yeah.
I know a little bit about cooking,
and
you about can't make a Brussels sprout taste great.
No, unless
you can hide the flavor. You can, it's just a little baby strong tasting cabbage.
Right. Well, I've had deep fried Brussels sprouts with nacho cheese. Those taste
soak up the grease and then put some fat, flavored fat on it. Hell yeah.
Those are the best.
That is the best.
Yeah, Owen, he put everything in there.
He put some bacon in there.
He had mushrooms in that boil. He had asparagus.
I didn't get the mushrooms.
They're in the water, way in the bottom.
Did you get one?
I did.
Was it good?
They're all right.
All right.
It's the corn that kicked my ass. They're spicy as shit.
Yeah.
So.
Well, there's more to flavor than just spice.
Right.
So.
I agree.
It was good. It was good. It was fun.
Right. But back to what we were talking about is, yes, that's one part of the triangle that we've struggled with. But, I was talking to Robert last night. He quit drinking. I think he's a little over a year sober now, or close to a year. And
coming up on a year.
Yeah, and he goes, for some reason I have this desire. I don't want to smoke anymore. So he stopped smoking, and then he was just doing those little nicotine dips,
Mm-hmm.
And then he goes, the more and more I do what I'm doing, now I don't want to do that anymore. And that's that whole, when you align yourself with the spirit, the rest of the shit falls in place, because you naturally start craving, wanting to live a cleaner life, wanting to be more pure, wanting to do, to detach yourself from the food and the actions that limit you in your life, right? And so I was sharing that with him. I go, more and more you go along, man. I mean, the same thing happened to me. I quit drinking, and then I tried to fight it for as long as I could. I had no desire to quit smoking, but my body said, okay, you're done.
Right.
And I couldn't do it anymore.
That seems to be how they all of your addictions are.
Yeah, I'm a hard-headed
son
of a bitch.
I don't think you let go of any of them. I think
no.
God ripped them out of your clutches with your claw marks on them.
No, I did not come into this program wanting to quit drinking.
Yeah.
I came into this program because I couldn't keep living the way I was living.
Yeah.
Now, what happened after that has nothing to do with me.
Yeah.
The rest of it just started falling into place.
Isn't that something, too? Because a lot of people say, oh, my first year I really had to work.
Yeah.
I felt like I floated through that,
Well, I think when you come in beaten,
you're
like, whatever, let's do this
shit.
shit.
That's what it was. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it's unfortunate, most of the humans that I've met since I've been in this world, it takes a big old ass whooping for them to want to start doing something different.
Right.
I don't know why that is. There's something, innate in our head that's just like, no, I'm going to hold on to this thing for as long as I can, but I know it's killing me.
Yeah.
but deep down inside, I think if I just figure this one out,
Right.
and it doesn't. And the unfortunate thing is most of us don't make it.
Yeah.
I'm just not talking about the alcoholic and drug addicts. I'm talking about the foodaholics. I'm talking about the sexaholics. I'm talking about the gamblingaholics. I'm talking about anything that lines up with the 12-step program. Most people don't make it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
they die. They don't even make it to the rooms.
Yeah. I think that goes into, and I would like eventually to have a topic about God, Allah, the higher power, and the difference between that and this earthly world.
Right.
And how, this is my personal opinion, is I believe our ego is attached to this world. Okay.
Right.
And we fuck our bodies up. We don't eat right. We don't live right. We don't exercise right. We don't sleep right. We don't do a lot of things right. And our bodies are on lease.
Right.
And so that ego is talking to Mother Earth, and she's like, y'all suck. So start talking to them about eating more. Right. Try to end this shit quickly.
Well, I think, too, the way we eat, and I think our bodies haven't caught up with Jack in the Box on every corner.
Right.
Our bodies that we live in today are still, food.
Like hunter-gatherer?
Go gather your food or go work your crops.
Well, that's the way our bodies are made.
Right. That's what I'm saying. Those are the bodies we have. The problem is the food we have is stupid food on every corner. And most of the groceries that we have in our grocery store are outlawed in other countries.
Right.
That's how bad they are, and we eat them.
I totally agree with you. And they fucking taste really fucking good.
Well, they do, but I think we were conditioned to taste that.
Right.
Especially through the sugar. The sugar fake out that all politicians sold out to.
Maybe it's not best to say that it's the taste.
Yeah.
We ultimately do it because we like the way it makes us feel. Is that what you're saying?
That's it. That's it.
They put enough of little shit in there to.
That's it. It makes us feel
endorphins and dopamine.
Right, and then they market it in a certain way, and our mind goes, "Oh, I identify with that."
I heard that before. I heard people that go eat total clean, right? Just no processed foods anymore. Meat and vegetables. No sugars, no soda pops, all that shit. And then when they try to come back, it doesn't taste the same. Right. Like their mouth, ew, that's gross.
Yeah.
So I haven't got to that level yet. I'm willing to try it though.
Really?
I am willing. I know that the way I eat, the way I do things, the way I drink whatever I'm drinking, it's ultimately going to kill me.
Yeah.
It will. I'm already dying because of this shit.
Right.
So,
well, I think to get back to where this started is what's out to kill us is our mind.
Right. Which is attached to the ego, which is attached to Mother Earth. So right. Give me my body back.
Yeah. And, it's the, like we read in Peaceful Warrior, I agree with Socrates. He says, what are the uses for the mind? And he goes, I have no use for the mind.
Right.
It doesn't do anything good. It doesn't solve any problems. It doesn't do anything but try to keep you out of right here and right now. It tries to keep you in the future or in the past.
Right.
Worrying or regret and remorse or whatever, anything but right here, right now.
Right.
And do this because it's easier. Do this because it's softer. Or, then we start to listen to that shit. And we start to buy it. And we know somewhere deep down, when we put the wrong thing in our mouth, we know when we're doing it.
Right.
There's no question in my mind I shouldn't be doing this.
Right. Well, I agree.
It's like in the big book, they say, the thought crossed my mind.
Right.
I was doing something stupid.
Yeah.
I'm like, this is stupid.
Mhm.
delicious.
Right. It is. I think, I think that's where we miss out on the true experience of this world, right?
Right.
Because we have the human side and the spiritual, right?
Mhm.
The spirit. And I believe when you line your human existence up with the flow of the spirit, that's when you really experience this world. Sunsets look better, different, smells are more prominent. Just the feeling of a wind breeze going through, or just, it doesn't matter. Just everything seems to be pronounced more and more enjoyable, But we clog ourselves down with so much bullshit with the food and the addictions and the oh woe is me mindset, the victim mentality and all that bullshit that we miss out on the true reason why we're here,
Right.
And it's sad. And so that ultimately is why you and I are doing what we're doing and sharing it with all you guys out there.
Right.
Is there is something different. And if you are addicted to something, or if you have a mindset that the world's out to get you and kill you or whatever, or, you're so worried about whatever's being said on news or social media and all the minutia bullshit, the chaotic noise that just distracts you from truthfully being where you're supposed to be at. That's what this podcast is about. Sharing those experiences with you to get you out of that mindset, to try something different, to free yourself of the shackles of the bullshit that doesn't matter.
Right.
I know a lot of it's changed for me over the years. Shit, man, just probably in the last couple of years, I really started to learn more about my wife.
Mm-hmm.
I've taken a true interest in other humans, even though I joke around about it that I don't really like a lot of humans,
Right.
because most of y'all fucking suck. But the truth is when I put my mind
You have
away,
to see the small goat in other people
I have
too.
to salute the goat or whatever that shit is.
Salute the Christ.
Yeah,
It
there it
says
is.
in
Yeah,
the-
so
that's the small goat.
is that the what?
Well, that's what we're saying. The
Right.
little goat and us.
I hear you. But that's where it's not just with the wife, it's with other people. I take time and I really want to hear what they have to say,
Mm-hmm.
And I hear a lot of things. I hear a lot of amazing things. But one of the saddest things is I hear a lot of pain and suffering,
Right.
Well, I take it back. Oh, we should do a podcast on that. The difference between fucking pain and suffering. Pain is the growth part. The suffering is
optional.
The suffering is the refusing of growing.
Right. The suffering is you need to do a 4-step.
Right. There you go.
There you go.
So, but I hear a lot of the suffering that's not needed. And, I ask a lot of people that, you don't have to be there.
Right.
I remember my dad suffers from, and I say suffer, okay, for a purpose, with diabetes.
Right.
Here comes Jake.
There's
Jake.
Jakester. What's up, Jake?
You want to come over and say hi to everybody in the world?
Yeah.
All right.
Come on
Put
over
your
here.
shirt back on. Put your shirt back on. Come on over here.
You can say hi to everybody. You have anything spiritual to say?
Tell them listen to us. Do what we say.
Do what these guys say.
I'll give you $10 later.
Cool, bud.
Good to see you.
Yeah, you too.
All right. So that was our special guest, Jake.
Jake.
Yeah, he brings
Guest
a lot
appearance.
to the table. He is a crystal guru. We'll probably bring him on. He knows a lot about crystals and mushrooms and.
I heard somebody say today, and where was it with you? They were talking about putting crystals around the electrical part.
Oh yeah.
The intake.
Something about that it slows down the electrical currents going to the meter.
Was that where were we talking
That
about?
was last night.
Oh, that was last night. Okay.
We'll refrain from saying names just in case Cemepoint's watching or
Yeah,
if the energy companies are listening. I don't know how.
that's what it was. Yeah, but it was crystals.
Yeah, put
So we'll have to
crystals by
we'll put Jake on that.
Yeah, see if it works.
See all these little tidbits we get. We put that in for free.
That's free shit.
That's free.
That's right. Supposedly, if you put crystals around your meter, your electrical meter,
the end where the electricity's coming in,
right, it slows it down. So then it will affect your bill by like $80 or $90 a month. Is what they said. I have no experience in it. I don't know anything about it, but feel free to try it and let us know.
There you go. And we'll have Jake check it out.
Jake's gonna
he's
try
the crystal master.
Right.
Yeah.
So we got the foundation of how we got here.
Well, I wanted to talk about something else because what you brought up, but we're not going to get back to that. Keep tabs on that.
What's that one?
Kind of what you were talking about. The way we look at stuff and experience things. You know, we going back to an idea we talked about a couple of times. All these podcasts didn't come out in order that we did them, but anyway, they're all up now. But we talked about Kairos time.
Mm-hmm.
Man, whenever I've been trying to be in that mode a lot more, and it's been, you know, pretty cool. There's been some neat things happening, and then kind of this is going to sound wacko or something, but I'll say it, and then maybe you can explain it to me. But it's like whenever I get to do something that's like that's what I'm supposed to be doing. Like, you know, after the storm, we went and helped my daughter, and I was like, you know, that felt good to do that, and I'm like, I love doing this, and it wasn't easy, you know, and we spent some time and got soaked and, you know, everything else. But anyway, but we did that. I love doing that. And then when I was leaving, I was like, man, I love that.
Yeah.
That was cool. And then when I'm thinking about it now, I'm going, you know what I love? I love that I love that.
Right.
It's like a different level of looking at, these are the things that I really love. That was cool. And I was like, doesn't mean it was easy, you know, maybe it sucked at the moment, but it was like, look back and go, yeah, that was it.
Right.
And then you go, I love that was it.
Right.
You know what I mean? So,
no, I hear you. I think there are stages of that, right?
Yeah.
So early on, when you're deciding to live a different way of life, right on that brink there, first and foremost, our eyes are closed to the opportunities, right? Usually the next day, you'll hear at work or at home or something, oh, I could have used your help.
Right.
Right? You're like, shit, I didn't even know. Because your eyes are closed. Yeah, you're just on this train to nowhere. That, you know, I take the same route to work. I do the same things in and out. You know, I watch the same TV shows and the same news, and I feed myself a bunch of bullshit. And I live a mediocre life.
Yeah.
Right. Then when you start doing something different, your eyes start opening up a little bit more, but you tend to start weighing it up. Well, my show is on at 8. So now this is kind of a burden to me, right? This is going to go out of my way, right? So, but there's still times when you do it and you're like, oh shit, I really like how I feel, right? So then your eyes are opening up more and you're starting to keep your eyes open and seek those moments, right? Okay, there's something going on here, right? We're not looking around, you know? Then eventually your eyes are wide open and your ears are wide open and that's all you look for is opportunities to be of service. And that's where that level is that you're talking about, because you seek it constantly. And when you're in those zones, dude, everything happens. I mean, it's just your clarity on your mindset, you know, your body's different, the way you speak, everything flows. And I believe that is what you talk about is the Kairos time, right? We fight it, even though Kairos is all around us at all times, right? We're so blinded by our own ignorance or illusions and delusions of
Mhm.
life, right?
Mm-hmm.
Our own chaos, our own oh woe is me mentality, whatever the shit is, we're blinded to the truth. And I totally agree with you. I seek out when I hear storms are coming, wars are coming, people are losing jobs, people are dying, all this shit. I'm like, fuck yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You know, let's get busy because now this is where, you know, true spiritual people really stand out.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know, I see a lot of people, they're like, oh my God, the storm's coming and all the chaotic, everyone's running around stealing and shit, you know,
Mhm.
and taking everything. What's it? I got to take as much as I can, you know, and we're missing out on the opportunity,
Right.
you know. So I totally agree with you. When I was with you, there was no what else do I have to do.
Mm-hmm.
I don't even think like that anymore. I just got to go.
Yeah.
You know, it's just how we live.
Right.
And I don't see a lot of other motherfuckers around us when we're doing that shit.
You
I
know,
don't know.
it's kind of funny whenever the get together happens kind of spontaneously or whatever, but it interrupts some certain people's schedules, like you were saying.
Yeah.
Oh, that's not what we do on that night.
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, I know. That's the cool part.
Right. Oh, we were supposed to do this. Tonight's our night. We're supposed to go play bunco tonight.
Yeah.
You know, bullshit, whatever. What's that new thing? Pickleball. Today's my pickleball day.
Yeah.
Whatever that is. But you know, over the years,
We had to go play pickleball.
I ain't playing fucking pickleball.
Come on.
No.
Let's go.
I've already played tennis with your ass, and you hurt me.
No.
It hurt right here.
This is different.
It's not
It's
fucking
the
different.
paddle. It's the little, what can you do?
Fuck off. I ain't playing with you.
Come on. We're going to do it.
Nope. I'll tell you what.
I'm going to get Bill to set us up.
You go on an 8-mile hike with me. I'll go play pickleball.
All right. Let's do it.
All right.
We'll do it tomorrow.
You're going to hurt me. I played tennis with you. You broke both my ankles.
No, I didn't.
Yeah, I had skid marks. Man, my heart was broken.
Why?
Because your ass didn't move. You're just like this. I'm fucking running back and forth. Alice and I are fucking going back and forth, running around, and you're just standing there.
Right.
One-handed. I think you took a smoke break. Like while you were playing, like you don't even smoke.
I don't even smoke.
So, but back to the being of service and keeping your eyes open. I think you and I were talking about this on the Offended podcast that we were doing.
Right.
That we are those guys that people call.
Right.
You know, and they know no matter what, we're going to show up.
Yeah.
And there's times when people know I don't even like them.
Yeah.
And they still call me because they know I'm going to show up.
Right.
They know it. And, but that's how I have to live. I can't live any other way. If I ever start thinking like, oh, I'm not really in the mood, or I'm scared to death of that moment.
Right.
Because I know which way I'm going. You know, you shared a couple podcasts ago where you're either going that way or that way. There's no fucking staying.
No in between.
You're either going down or you're going up.
Yeah.
And, you know, going back to our logo, you know, the 3 sides of the triangle, you got to be constantly working on your mind, body, and spirit.
Yeah.
Have to. So yeah.
Yeah.
I love it, man.
Yeah. Good stuff.
Yeah.
All right. Well, get us back to where were we going? Did we cover it?
I think so. I think that's ultimately if this is the foundation of why we're here, what we're doing, and where we're going. You know, that's why you know, out there, you know, subscribing with us and putting comments in, you know, challenge us, you know, give us something to do, give us something to read, give us something to go be of service. And you know, we'll give our honest feedback on whatever it is.
Right.
You know, but ultimately, you know, we want to be there for you guys by sharing our experience to help free you from the bondage of yourself. You know, a lot of the books that we read, you know, basically you are where you are because of you. You know, you are right where you are because of yourself. You know, and I don't know. Is there anything else?
No, not in terms of that. I think we kind of pretty much
Yeah.
covered it. It's all, it's all spiritual related and ancient symbol
Mhm.
related, and it just has some depth to it. I mean, for us,
Yeah.
and I don't know. It's the fun stuff.
Right.
I like that kind of stuff.
And if you guys haven't noticed already, I do interpret books and sayings and words differently than other people.
Well, you hear shit different. You don't hear shit right.
Yeah. Well, right. That's a right, wrong. Who's to say? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I just hear things.
I know what you're saying.
I know.
But that,
There is no such thing as right or wrong. There just
Right.
is.
right.
So I hear it the way I'm supposed to hear it.
Mhm.
I can't hear it the other way sometimes.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
I do.
The whole easier,
I
softer
know exactly
way.
what
I
you're
don't
saying.
know what you're saying to me.
And the fun part is I can go watch this.
Right? So I think that's the fun part about it is the translations. But ultimately, don't take my word for it. Because anything that I speak of, it's because I put it into practice. So I've earned it to say, the whole, pick up your mat and follow me translates to me, follow me or fuck off.
Right?
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I know what
But
you're saying.
that's where I am. That makes sense to me.
Mhm.
Because if you talk all nice and sensitive and cute to me, you're not talking to me.
Right.
I don't know what you're fucking saying.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think we. Well, first of all, when you say, quoting Jesus, the follow me or fuck off thing, again, we meant that fuck off as spiritually,
This is spiritual.
in a spiritual thing.
Absolutely. There's no other way to take it.
Yeah, not like some people would think.
If you take it that way, you might want to read the Bible a little bit better.
Well, they can donate.
Or you can donate.
Yeah.
That's right. You have to always donate.
Right.
You
So
should really look into that. Actually have a real donation box. So.
Right. So anyway, I just wanted to clarify that part.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I appreciate it.
Yeah. So good stuff. I can't think of anything else to add to that. We covered it all on the bases.
Yeah. The big thing is just know that, we're here to share our experience with you to help remove those limitations that are on yourself and
those habitual self-limiting choices.
Ooh, I like that.
We talked about that this week somewhere. I wrote it down.
Okay, well.
Do you remember where we talked about it?
I have no idea.
It was
say it again.
Habitual self-limiting choices. Well, we started Goggins, so
Right.
it must have been we read the beginning pages.
That's this one.
Yeah, his first book, Can't Hurt Me. So our little group started that. I've tried to warn them. I did my best to warn them and tell them they don't understand what they're getting into.
Yeah.
And y'all weren't there to back me up. And so here we are doing this book again.
Right.
So anyway, that means we need it.
I agree.
So anyway, that was one of his things we got out of the beginning, talking about habitual self-limiting choices.
Good. And a lot of our conversations, they're going to be surrounded by ultimately the conscious contact with your higher power. Right. That's ultimately the end goal is to create that intimate relationship with a power greater than yourself. We don't care if you call it Allah. We don't care if you call it God. We don't care if you call it Buddha, Tao Te Ching, whatever. I don't care what you call it. The point is that you have that intimate relationship with that higher power, and you know that you have that relationship because you will no longer be thinking about self. You're thinking about how to get out of self and how to give of yourself more often, which is the definition of love.
Right. And getting out of self, that's what we're trying to do is quit playing God.
Right.
That's ultimately what our problem is we want to keep taking the reins and go, watch, I can make this better. I can do this better than you can, or whatever, and that's what got me here.
Right. Exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
So
Absolutely. So that's it. That's our foundation.
That's
That's
it.
why we're here, what we do, and where we're going.
right, where we're headed, and you know, the main thing is having fun, and you know, we're going to talk about where we are and
Right.
what we're doing and stuff like that.
Right.
So
So I was thinking about, like an intro,
right.
and this one thing has been in my head. It's like, two old goats. Fuck yeah.
That's too close. I think they're going to copyright us on the music.
I can do it in a different tone.
Do it in a different tone.
Yeah. Two old goats. Fuck yeah.
Yeah.
Is that better?
No.
No, it's the same thing.
That ain't it. No.
Right.
I like the one I like is what's his name? Theo Vaughn.
Yeah.
He has this past weekend podcast.
Okay.
His intro music. I wish he didn't have that one because that's the one I like.
Okay.
It's like jazzy soul, New Orleans style.
Yeah.
About, you know, I want to hear your story or something like that.
Okay.
It's pretty cool. Listen to it. You'll dig on that song.
Okay.
I don't know the name of it. I haven't looked it up. I should.
All right. Well, if you guys have any ideas on an intro for us, please comment. Let us know. We're willing to listen to whatever.
Yeah.
So
Something fun, upbeat.
yeah, something
Like me.
that grabs a hold of the meat and potatoes of what we
Little
do.
soul.
Yeah.
Soul.
Yeah, but nothing by Willie Nelson.
No. It's got to be by what? What are you?
Well, what about Robert Earl King? We can do his stuff.
I like Robert. Yeah.
Party.
He's good. There's some good things on
The
there.
road goes on forever and the party never.
Right. That's one of them.
Okay.
Paint the Town Beige. I bet you don't know that one.
No, I don't.
That's a good one.
I don't.
Instead of paint the town red, you paint the town beige.
Okay.
So.
All right. Well, I think that's it, guys. You got anything else?
No, that's all I got. We'll
All right.
catch you in a week.
Check y'all later.